First, just introduce yourself and tell us about your channel.
So my name's Steve, and I'm the owner of Paleo Analysis. We talk about. There's a very good chance that you know me from the History of the Earth series. That's what most people know me from. And I talk about all sorts of things having to do with the history of life on Earth.
How did your love for fossils and dinosaurs come to be?
Oh, well, that's been a passion of mine since I was a child. Literally, the first movie I ever saw in theaters was Jurassic Park. I was 4 years old.
Is that realistic to you? Or is it much more of a fantasy?
Not.
I didn't think so.
But I will say, I give Jurassic Park a pass on more things than most people in the science will give. There's one animal that absolutely bothers me to no end, and that's the Dilophosaurus. Like the raptors, I'll give them a pass because we did have, even though Velociraptor was a much smaller animal, we did have bigger raptors like this guy. So, different things like that. But Dilophosaurus is the one that has always bugged me.
Is that the one who spits?
Yes. For a couple different reasons. Number one, we know of one animal either in the fossil record or alive today that had a frill like that. It's a frilled lizard. And they have bones in the frill, at the bottom of the frill, to help open and close it. We've never seen that in the multiple Dilophosaurus specimens that we found in the past. Also, we cannot say for sure whether or not there was any such thing as a venomous dinosaur. However, we know of one type of animal alive today that spits venom, and those are cobras. However, a cobra does not spit venom as a way of procuring prey. That is a defense mechanism. So the idea of an animal spitting venom as a way of hunting does not make biological sense, because a cobra can spit venom, but if it's trying to catch food, it's not going to spit venom, it's going to bite, and it's going to inject its venom. That makes sense from a biological standpoint when you're talking about an animal that is trying to hunt and kill prey.
Doesn't the Komodo dragon also have like a venomous bite or something I remember hearing about?
Yes, but again, they're still not expelling venom out of their mouth. The only animals that we know that do that, they do that as a defensive trait. So I won't even say that that a dinosaur never spits venom, or that a dinosaur was not venomous. But a venomous dinosaur probably never spat venom as a way of getting food, because it wouldn't work.
What is the most realistic movie you saw in regard to dinosaurs?
Movie-wise? Because movies have a tendency to make to take a lot of creative liberties. That's a hard one. I tend to lean more in the direction of documentaries.
Like Walking with Dinosaurs?
So, Walking with Dinosaurs was fantastic in 1999. Obviously, it's been a long time since then, and they're actually going to be they're going to be doing a new Walking with Dinosaurs this year in 2025. So we're actually getting an updated version of it.
Did you ever see those shows that Nigel Marven did with Prehistoric Park?
Absolutely.
What do you think of those?
So again, it's one of those things, because that was also done by the BBC. Nigel Marven actually did a couple different specials besides just the Prehistoric Park. But I feel like what they were trying to do is they were trying to make a more scientifically accurate Jurassic Park type of feel and a type of idea. And I feel like at the time, they did a fantastic job. But it's something that, like, in 2025, we could really use revisiting. But that's kind of one of the problems that we run into with paleontology, because we're looking at fossils and we don't have a ton to go on. What's correct today isn't going to necessarily be correct in 20 years. Perfect example that I use is the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. In 2001, when that movie came out, that dinosaur was pretty accurate. But since then, from what we understood, Spinosaurus did. But since then, we've found more material, and Spinosaurus is notoriously one of the animals that is constantly changing as the science evolves. As we find more and more material, that dinosaur is changing. That's why content creators like me really like talking about it, because if I make a video about Spinosaurus, 6 months from now, it's going to be outdated.
If you can clone a dinosaur, would you clone one?
That's hard. That's hard because there's so much. It becomes not just a question of, you know, the fact that we've seen 6, now going on 7 movies talking about why this is a terrible idea. But besides that, it begs the question whether or not these animals could even survive in today's world. I feel like cloning is something that when you're dealing with more recent animals, there's a little bit more of an ethical gray area.
Like, what about woolly mammoth?
That's the kind of thing that, like, because at this point we can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, even if we were not 100% responsible, we played a part in the extinction of that animal. And the world is not as drastically different from the Pleistocene until now versus the Cretaceous period until now. Like, we're talking about Earth was not the same as it is today back then, by a wide margin. There's a lot of climatic differences that exist from the Pleistocene until the Holocene, but not nearly as much differences as what we see from the Mesozoic until now.
So you think, say, we did say try to clone a T-Rex, it might, temperature-wise, maybe microbes, it might not survive?
There's a lot that we don't know, but the other problem that we have from that is that, like, the idea of doing it the way that Jurassic Park said that they were doing it is not possible. Because even those pieces of amber that we find insects in, there's no organic material left. It's the imprint of organic material. And you cannot squeeze blood out of a rock. And that's literally what is implied by the idea of Jurassic Park. So if we were going to make a dinosaur, the more likely way that it could happen was rather than clone and bring back a Utah raptor or a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a whatever. What would be more likely is for us to backbreed different traits, different non-avian dinosaur traits.
Through genetic engineering.
Genetic engineering of avian dinosaurs, birds. That is the more likely, in the event that this science fiction becomes science. That is the method that I see making more sense, because no matter how much our science moves forward, we cannot get organic material out of mineral.
And one last question, favorite dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur? I've got to go with the 2 that I brought with me today. I've got, for my Saurischian dinosaurs, it's got to be the Utah raptor, the largest species of raptor that we know of, easily twice the size of the raptors in Jurassic Park. And then up at the front, I've got an ankylosaur skull cast, and that is my favorite ornithischian dinosaur. Easily one of, if not the most dangerous animal that Tyrannosaurus Rex was ever hunted. T-Rex, the reason why T-Rex was so big and powerful was because it lived alongside some of the most dangerous herbivores that ever existed. Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and even the big hadrosaurs were dangerous, because outside of sauropods, hadrosaurs are the biggest land animals that ever lived. So all of the herbivores that T-Rex was hunting were potentially very dangerous. But we have a large number of T-Rex leg bones that have been shattered, and it seems like they were probably shattered by the club at the end of an ankylosaur's tail. We have more evidence of that than we have of T-Rexes that show signs of damage from the horns of Triceratops or anything else.
Other than your YouTube channel, you have any other website you want to plug or anything?
So everything that I'm under is Paleo Analysis. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm a little bit on Facebook, but YouTube is definitely going to be the main place to find me.
Very awesome. Thank you.